And the men's war game match was just off the chart. You know, a lot of story there, a lot of nuances there that I thought delivered on every level.
If you come at the king, you best not miss.
Acknowledge us.
Hey, guys, we're here at the Red Carpet Ring. Turnbuckle King here. We're going to talk about the mistakes Triple H has made with Survivor Series. We'll talk about stuff he's done in 2023 and that he's also brought over to 2024. Get the likes as you come into the ring. We're going to talk about that right now. Tune in because we're going to definitely dive into what Triple H has done and how it's strikingly similar to what he is doing right now in 2024 Survivor Series PLE. Bloodline team member recruiting story is getting a little old, and we're talking about for Survivor Series 2024 War Games. Now we got on. I'm gonna talk more about it with the bonus round, but I just see this is getting old. Now Roman, his team need one more member. Solo's team need one more member. OG Bloodline versus current Bloodline. I get that. Now, on this episode of Raw, which I really didn't talk about that much in the review, I'm going to talk about it now. I didn't talk about it earlier. Sami Zayn said he was going to try to get Seth Rollins on their team. Jimmy Uso tried to get Braun Breaker on his team. Neither one. Seth said no. Braun Breaker, he didn't say anything. And Solo tried to get Seth on his team as well. And I'm seeing a pattern here. Now, if you guys remember for Survivor Series last year, they ran with the same story, rinse and repeat. If you guys remember, this was done last year, it really was. If you guys don't remember on Raw for the team of Cody, it was pretty much the same people. It was Cody, Seth, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and a return of Randy Orton. And remember, we had Cody Rhodes talk to Seth Rollins. Now, it was no recruitment, but it's always the recruitment or the whole story. I know we don't get along, but let's mend fences for this one night to take out so we can defeat the other team. And it's getting quite old. If you guys, like I said, pay attention on the episode of Raw in the same time frame as last year, in the weeks leading up to Survivor Series War Games. Remember, Cody said the same thing to Seth about trying to come to an agreement or to recruitment. Let's get everything on the same page for Survivor Series.
The War Games. I need you. And the team needs you. The enemy.
And that was Cody Rhodes talking to Seth Rollins. We know that Cody and Seth has not been getting along, since Cody's been back. They had 3 matches against each other before the tour pack of Cody Rhodes. He asked Seth Rollins, the team needs you. Let's get on the same page. Let's defeat the other team. So I feel like they're doing the same story this year. Same story. Yes, I know it's not asked to be on the same page, but it's still recruiting someone. And remember, Seth, he was recruited, and it's always coming towards Seth Rollins, I noticed. It's always coming towards Seth. We see this a lot. He said similar to Solo about joining his team or whatever. It's some type of asking. It's always some type of selling point, if that makes sense. Every year, it's a selling point to join the team or mend fences. Every year.
The next time I'm in the ring with Roman Reigns, it will be to stomp his head.
The War Game.
The next time I'm in the ring with Roman Reigns, it will be to stomp his head into the ground.
And that's what Seth Rollins said to Solo when Solo tried to recruit him. So like I said, we run with the story so much. Recruiting, some type of selling point to get someone to be on the same page or get whatever it is. I'm getting quite sick of it. And this is where it comes down to when I get tired of something, when I see a pattern, when I see rinse and repeat, It goes on the list.
You just made the list!
So that's the biggest thing, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. We'll get to that in a second, actually. Matter of fact, we'll talk about that now before we get to the bonus round, which will be about Damian and Gunther. Now, speaking of which, let's get to that now, actually. Does WarGames need a fifth man? And that's what we're talking about right now. Speaking of Survivor Series, we're going to see each team needs one more man. And this has been going around. Like I said, no Raw is some spoilers. But each team needs one more guy. And I think I got the way I will book it to how each man will be beneficial towards each team, or who's the best man for each team. So, question is, who is the fifth man for the OG Bloodline? Who's the man that you pick? We just discussed it. More likely, I got my money on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins will be the fifth man of this team. Think about it. Anytime someone said, I'm not going to join Roman Reigns, anytime someone I'm not going to get on that team, they somehow find a way to be on that team. So expect Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Sammy, and Seth Rollins. Since he's not going to join Solo, I don't see him going to the heel side. He more likely is going to be on the fifth man of Roman Reigns' team. Despite him saying he'll never join Roman, we already know that's you're gonna find your way back team with Roman. That's the whole thing of the story. So I see that going down. I don't see it going any other way, honestly. But they're gonna run with that narrative. Seth will be the fifth man for that team. Mark my words. He will be the fifth man for that team. I don't see why he wouldn't be. It only makes sense for him to be the fifth man for that team. So we gotta keep that in mind. So since he's the fifth man for the OG Bloodline squad, since he's the OG Bloodline, now we gotta figure out for the other side of the team. If Seth's gonna be on this team of the OG Bloodline, question is, who is the fifth man for Bloodline 2.0? So we got to find somebody for that team. You can't have 4-on-5. Who would be the man to take that side? If Seth's on one side of the ring, somebody got to be on the second side of the other ring. So who's the person to take that spot? Who's the man to do that? It will be who Seth Rollins is beef with right now. If I had to pick, Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed will be on the team of Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa. And he actually fits with this team better. I could see him easily being on this team better. So it will make sense to do it that way. Some people think that's not the case, but I would say it is. I would say it is, honestly. It will make sense to do it that way. But I got Bronson Reed joining forces with those two. If Seth's going to be on one side of the ring, Bronson Reed going to be on the other side of the ring. And he will be with that squad. So I would not be surprised if they're going to do it like that. At least that's how I would do it. It will make sense to do that. So that's how I would do it. I don't really see anybody else to do that. Bronson Reed would make so much sense to do that. I don't see why they wouldn't have him for that. But Bronson Reed will be on the opposite team. That's how that will work out. And I think Bronson will be fine. Bronson will be fine. Seth gonna be fine. I don't see anybody else on the Raw roster to get involved unless someone's coming back. I don't think it's CM Punk or Drew McIntyre. They don't make sense for the story. I don't see Braun Strowman making sense. The names we haven't seen on Raw, I don't see how that would make sense, honestly. They're not going to be the ones to do that. They're not. If you want to admit or not, it don't make sense to do that for each side. So that would be a no. And when they do that, we will have our whole 5-on-5. Now, I will say this. Do WarGames really need a fifth man? No. This team is actually fine the way it is. Because this Survivor Series is normally a 4-on-4 team. WarGames, yes, you have that, but you really don't need WarGames for that. WarGames is really for an NXT, not so much for the main roster. And I think, honestly, NXT should get WarGames back. Survivor Series is so good, the history, and you have such a loaded roster for men and women, you really don't need it, you know. But like I said, I just think a fifth man is not needed in this. You don't need it. And the reason I say that too, I saw last year's Survivor Series. I saw that as well. You really didn't need that type of thing. I think it was kind of overloaded. So I think a fifth man probably maybe it'll be too much. All right, guys, that's all I have regarding the mistakes Triple H has made with Survivor Series. We talk about the same Survivor Series teams are similar, and also the 4 versus 4 better than 5 versus 5. You guys click the links below to the 2 videos. Until then, it's OUT.